Most people start trading to make money and gain freedom, but they end up watching endless YouTube videos, trying 5 or 7 different strategies and losing their real cash. And if that sounds like you, it's not your fault. You've been lied to about what works and what's realistic. I'm Ryan from the Lux Traders, and I've turned my last $1,000 into over $4.5 million trading gold and stocks. And all that after losing 80K overnight in the Celsius crash. I've helped complete beginners all over the world, in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East, build a simple system and finally get consistent results. There's no hype, no luck here, and no paywall. Look, the truth is, most traders fail because they start wrong. Complicated indicators, paid signal groups, secret systems, that all sounds great, but beginners burn out before they can even have the time to build a real process. This way that I teach you is different. Over here, you're not chasing alerts. You're not adding new indicators every week. You're not glued to 20 different screens. You're using one very simple setup with clear risk rules, and then a basic journal. In this course, I'll show you exactly how my one setup system works, why gold and stocks work well right now, and how I built a simple risk-first system after my 80K loss. Because trust me, that taught me a lot. I'll also show you why my students improve, or I coach them for free for another month. You'll see a full screen recording where I plan, execute, and journal a real trade. No guessing. Just copy the system. Now look, you've seen the results, and now it's your turn. Because if you wait 6 months, you'll be 6 months older with the same problem. Let me tell you why you've been lied to about trading. I'd never used complex algorithms. I didn't need 10 indicators or paid chat rooms or signal alerts. Just one simple setup with tight risk control and proper journaling. And that sounds simple because it is. Nobody talks about it. Everyone online sells the dream. Fancy cars, secret indicators, passive income, they say. And they show you these massive wins that are unrealistic. What they don't show you are the blown accounts, the panic trades, sleepless nights, and constant months of losing to become a consistently profitable trader. You're building complicated systems before you've even made your real win. Paid subscriptions, scanners, a dozen tools, and still no real edge. At this point, you're drowning in noise. And that's the trap, and it's easy to fall into that trap. You're trying to become an expert before you've proven that your setup even works. I know most of you guys are not lazy. You're just using the wrong system. And you've been sold something designed for the experts in this field, and you're just trying to start out. You're a beginner, and it's okay to be that way. But this way is different. No indicator overload, no alert addiction, no 10 screen setup. You learn one setup, control your risk, and execute when conditions are right. And if they're not right, skip it. Look, you're not broken. The system is, and it's time to change that. And this actually works. So let me tell you who this is even for. So as we said, you've tried everything, the complex indicators, paid signals, macro analysis, all that things. You followed all those self-proclaimed gurus, and you watched their videos. Maybe you even bought a course, but you're still stuck. You did exactly what they said. You added the tools, you watched screens longer, you chased more setups, but after months of trying, you're still losing your money, aren't you? You weren't given a system that makes sense for a beginner like you. As I mentioned before, you don't need 5 different strategies and constant guessing. You need a simple game that you can win with clear rules time and time again. Now, if you've got some money saved, maybe $500, maybe 5K, you don't want to save that. You worked hard for it. You want to use it in a smart way. You're not lazy, and you're just tired of guessing. You're done with the hype, and you want some clarity. You need someone to tell you, here's the setup, here's the condition, here's the risk, go and execute, go and trade. This is for people who are tired of theory and hoping. This is for people who want to actually do it, who want to actually get in the game, in the trading game. And if you've got internet, if you've got a broker account, and if you can follow very simple steps, this is for you. I know most of you guys can do that. Now let me tell you why most traders fail and why my traders don't. Most trading methods require skills that you don't have yet. Predicting the economy, coding strategies, reading the news, the right news, managing emotions under pressure. They throw you in the deep end, competing with the pros like myself who've done this for almost a decade, and that's why you fail. But markets don't reward being smart. They don't care if you're smart or stupid. They reward having a process, and that's why this works. When something big happens, whether earnings beat, sector momentum, gold hitting a key level, you don't think harder. You just follow your rules. You enter at your trigger and you stop at your loss point. You take your profits at planned levels. Done. That's your edge. This system is based on repeatable patterns and timing. You don't need to predict everything. As a matter of fact, you don't have to predict anything. You don't have to trade every day. You don't need to learn when your setup works best. You need to learn when your setup works best and execute it then. Simple. It's predictable, and once you get your first real win, everything changes. It goes like this: belief, action, results, consistency in trading. Now, let me tell you what real trading actually is. Most people hear professional trader and they picture wall-to-wall screens and chaos. A million screens everywhere. That's outdated. Let me explain what it actually is. You build one great setup. Not 5, not 6, not 7. One great setup. You define the conditions, market type, volume, time, and catalyst timing. You define your stop loss. Where you're wrong, hard stop. You define your targets, where you take profits, how you trail your profits, and then you wait. Sometimes you can wait for 30 minutes, sometimes it's a day, could be a week. You don't chase the markets ever. You don't move stops based on fear. You execute the plan when your trigger hits, and when it doesn't, you pass. Why? Because most traders trade on emotion and panic. They wait too long, they chase green candles, they panic sell. You do the opposite. You position when conditions are right, and you let the market come to you. You don't need a fancy degree, even though I have one. You don't need one. You don't need a trading firm. You don't need 20 indicators. All you need to be a trader, to be a profitable trader, is internet, a broker, and 60 to 90 minutes a day of focused execution. And here's the best part. Platforms already support this. Your broker, your charts, your journal, they're built for exactly this. So you're not fighting the system anymore. Think of it, you are the system. You're just playing the game with rules most people ignore, and the opportunities are always there. You don't have to force trades. You're responding to your circumstances. That's why this works. The market tells you when to act. Let me tell you guys why right now matters. Now that you understand the game, here's why timing is so important. Earnings seasons, sector rotations, economic reports, world events. Every single month, there are windows where movement and volume line up with our setup. And here's what happens. People abandon their rules. They start to trade based on how they feel in their emotions. Oh, I have to catch this move. This is the trade of the year. If I catch this trade, I'm gonna make so much money. No more of that. And that's your advantage. More big events equals more emotion equal more opportunity for rule-based traders. During these windows, disciplined traders win. Why? Because the volume in these circumstances is real. The levels matter and the price moves clearly. Slow months happen. I mean, I still improve during slow months because I kept journaling, I kept sizing correctly. But now imagine your results when your setup is in its best season, when markets are flying. This is not about trading every single day. This is about catching the right cycles and protecting yourself during the wrong ones. If you're watching this near earnings seasons or economic reports or during a gold spike, which you've been seeing recently, you're either entering your window or watching it close. The worst mistake is thinking this window will always be open, because it won't. Because when it closes, you must wait for the next cycle. Every season, a small group shows up, executes, and grows their account. Don't be part of the group that's on the sideline. Let me tell you how good trades work and why most people think good trades are random. They're not. They're repeatable. Every great trade follows a pattern. You just have to learn how to see it. It starts with a catalyst, an earnings surprise, a sector leader breaking out, gold pushing through a key level. Nobody's panicking yet. Their structure, then the build. Volume starts to increase, levels get tested, and then the story spreads all over the news. Suddenly that setup becomes obvious, but unprepared traders just chase. And at that point, your trigger hits and this is your moment. This is the calm before the move. Your stop is clear, your risk is fixed, your plan is written. And this is when we enter. Then we wait. We can wait minutes, we can wait hours, we can wait days, we can wait weeks. But while you hold, something happens. The move arrives. Late buyers start to rush in and the shorts get covered. Price moves through all your key levels and your profits are hit at your planned points. There's no better feeling when your profits are all hit. And then after that, your trails just handle the rest. I'll give you an example. See, I took recently a gold breakout with a clear volume and a clear stop loss. I risked 1% of my portfolio and I took profit at 1% and 2%. The rest were all trade. No heroics, no guessing. And here's why it works. This game isn't about calling tops and bottoms. You can never do that. It's about executing when your conditions are met. You're not the hype machine here. The market is. You're not forcing price to move. You can never do that. You're simply there when it does move with your risk controlled. And once you understand this pattern, you can do it again and again and again. There's no audience, there's no secrets, just rules, timing, and patience. And right now, I've given you guys the rules. Let's talk about some common fears that, oh, why do you keep losing? Isn't trading just gambling? No, gambling is risking without a plan or rules. We trade a tested setup with fixed risk, clear stops, and proven results. Don't need algorithms or high-frequency trading or 10 indicators. No, that's all a myth. More indicators often mean more confusion. Clean price, volume, levels, and the trigger beat indicator overload any day. But what if I lose money, you may ask? Fear is fair, but that's the wrong mindset. Losses happen in any system. We size small, we cap daily losses, and we review our mistakes. Because we do that, we're not gambling, we're managing our risk very tight. You might ask yourself, isn't the market too hard right now? Not really. I mean, there are definitely days where we don't trade, or we have to reduce our size, minimize risk, and that's why we have to classify good, okay, and bad conditions. Survival in the markets is the main thing, and it's the main part of the strategy. And this is the question that everyone asks the most. Do I need a lot of money? No. Start with what you have and measure in percentages. Don't measure in money earned. And scale up when your stats say, yeah, you're ready. After you follow all your rules, your average returns are pretty good, and your loss control is great. You can scale up from there. Let me talk to you guys about my turning point. After I lost $80,000 in one night through a platform called Celsius that crashed, bro, my confidence was destroyed. And I had to strip everything back to one very boring setup. Gold breakout with a clear stop and planned profit taking. I wrote those rules down and I tested 100 examples. I was back testing non-stop and committed to 30 real trades with fixed size and a daily stop. The most important thing I did though is I logged every single trade with screenshots, emotions, and whether or not I followed my rules on this laptop right here. After 30 trades, the data was very clear. Positive expectancy, stable average return, manageable max loss, improving rule following. And that proof changed everything for me. Not because of one big win, but because I proved to myself that process really does beat panic. I figured out it goes, the structure is very clear. It's proof, belief, execution, growth. And that's the exact shift I'll coach you through all the way to growth. Let me tell you guys exactly how to plan, execute, and journal a trade, because you guys might overlook journaling. I know people think it's boring and not part of trading, but it's extremely important and crucial to your trading journey.
Okay, so most traders probably look at a chart like this and just see a bunch of randomness. But when you know what to look for, the market gives you very clear signals that you can use. So right here on gold, I want to show you guys how this exact double top formation right here, and double top just means 1 and 2 high peaks. It gave us one of the clearest and cleanest short setups that you'll ever see. And more importantly, I'll teach you guys how you can spot this exact setup yourself. So we're zoomed out right now. Before this double top formed, gold had been in a very, very strong bullish rally for quite some time. We were climbing from under 3.8K all the way to 4,360, 4,370. We even broke 4,370 for a while. So that's a massive move, But there's always one thing about massive moves, these parabolic moves. They always end up exhausting. No trend can go up forever. Eventually, buyers are gonna run out of fuel, so to say, and that's when sellers take over. On this chart that we see right here for gold, the first top that we see here formed around 43.60. Then price pulled back and then rallied again. And here we got our second peak. That's pretty classic double top formation. Like, it's a very classic double top structure, and it's a very, very classic sign of, reversals. It's a reversal signal in trading. So why does this, signal work? Why does the double top work? Think about trader psychology. At the first peak right here, sellers step in and they push the price down, as we can see here where my cursor is. The peak happened and sellers pushed the price down. After that, buyers regroup in this area and they try again. They try to break that peak again. But here's the key. They fail to make a new high. We're right in the same level as the first peak. And so that failure tells us that momentum is faded. It's now gone. So if buyers cannot break on the second attempt, what usually happens? Sellers flood in, and that's when you see the huge reversal coming over here. Now let's bring in one of my favorite tools, the Bollinger Bands. These things you see right here, the red, blue, and green lines, so to say. These lines, these bands, measure volatility. The upper band shows us this red band, it shows us that when price is stretched way too far to the upside. Look at the second peak right here. The second peak in the double top. Notice how price wicked straight into the upper band and immediately was rejected. That's a huge clue, guys. That's a huge signal, as we say in trading. It's like a rubber band that's pulled way too far. Eventually, it has to snap back, So when you combine a double top with a rejection at the Bollinger Band, that's a very high probability short setup. Now, let's talk about execution. Obviously, you cannot just short as soon as you see a double top or a top or whatever. I wait for confirmation. Look closely at the candles over here. Let me zoom in. Look closely at the candles on the second peak. You see those long wicks? You see this long wick and these small bodies of these green candles? See how there's a long wick right here on the red candle and these small bodies on the green candles? That's not coincidence. That's rejection. That's when sellers are stepping into the market. So my entry is placed right after that rejection, around 43.60 area, right here. When I start seeing long wicks, rejection, very, very small green candles, sellers are stepping in, your rejection of the Bollinger Band, it's a double top, that's your entry. And this way, you're not guessing. You're reacting to what the market is telling you in that moment. And, okay, look, in every trade, you also have to know where to place your stop loss, because risk management in trading is everything. So my stop loss goes just above the highs of these two peaks, obviously because they're at the same level. So my stop loss would be just around maybe 43.95. That way I keep my risk to a minimum, and if price breaks above 43.95, then that double top idea is invalid. So that's a professional way to play stops, not just like randomly, but at the level where, you know, your trade thesis is proven wrong. Okay, let's talk about where we can place targets, because obviously you want to make some money and you want to know where to take that money out. So typically I tend to scale out my profits in levels. TP1, the first place I take profit, is right here in the midline of the Bollinger Band, around 4.2, 4.3K. TP2 is near the lower band, right here, the green band, which is around 4.2, 4,200. And then TP3 is near the major support zone, right around here, around 3,900. So, you know, really, if you did catch this move, you could have made money all the way from the double top damn near to the bottom using very, very simple signals. And so let's talk about what happened here. Price failed to break higher, rejected perfectly, and then dropped aggressively. We hit the midline target, which is the blue band, the lower band as well, and then eventually tested very deeper support zones right around this area. As you can see here, this is an area of interest for gold. So we hit that eventually. This trade worked beautifully, but the key lesson here is not that it was like a perfect short, so to say. The lesson is that when you combine structure with confluence, you know, you can always trade with probability on your side. So let me tell you guys what you can take away from this small little lesson. The first thing is always start with structure. The double top is one of the cleanest reversal patterns, and that's structure. So always have structure before you get into the trade. Second thing is add confluence. Here, my confluence was the Bollinger Band rejected perfectly and confirmed exhaustion for me. The third one would be wait for confirmation candles. As we discussed already, this long wick here, these very small green candles, those are confirmation candles for my trade bias. 4 would be place stops logically above the level that invalidates your trade idea. And 5 would be scale out your profits at multiple levels. Yes, okay, sure. Taking out profits a bit early might be a little annoying, but trust me, it's always better to take out your profits early than not take them out at all and lose them. So, yeah, this is the general consensus on this gold trade. Okay, so I also want to talk with you guys about what I do before I even start trading. I like to define what kind of day we're dealing with here. Is it a good, okay, or bad day? And I want to break down what those different days are for you guys, because not every day is a trading day, I'll tell you that. A good day is when the market shows, very clear direction right out the gate. Again, like this right here, this was a great day. Not a good day, this was a great day. Volume is strong, there's a catalyst, whether it be news, data, earnings, whatever, and charts are giving us, very clean levels that are being respected. On days like that, I can lean in and I can be pretty aggressive with my setups. I can really have like 100, some days I have 100 lots open. So that's on very, very good days where confluence is high. And again, on this double top right here, confluence was very high. An okay day is when things aren't as clear. Maybe both directions are being tested. There's no strong news driver. The structure might be a bit choppy. There are still opportunities on okay days, but I need to be selective. I have to wait for confirmation and stick to only A+ setups. A bad day is when you just don't trade. Like you open the charts, everything is choppy, everything is super volatile. Price is just chopping around like in a very tight range. Volume is thin and candles are overlapping with no clean trend. Those are days where it's best just to close the screen, close whatever you're doing right there, get off the charts, and just don't trade at all. It's not worth it to lose money over a day that's low volume. So on bad days, just sit out. So always just look for, clear setups, A+ setups. Make sure it's a good day to trade. If it's a bad day to trade, there's no shame in just sitting out the market for a while and letting things be until your setup comes back again. Okay, I want to run you guys through, this platform that I'm using and how you can use it to your advantage. It's pretty simple. This is one of my backup accounts, backup broker accounts. You just register like any other account. Register, make an account. KYC is pretty simple, whatever. You obviously go to deposit. Why I like it is because they have so many different, networks and cryptos to choose from. Personally, I do Solana because it's the fastest. I'm guessing most of you guys will be doing USDT on either ERC or TRC. Doesn't matter, whatever it is. You can just deposit over here. And then what's really cool about this broker though is this. This right here, 10x your trading capital with a Hero 10x account. Now this is going to help a lot of you guys. Look, you go to plus Hero 10x and watch this, okay? Well, there's MT5 and Trade Locker. Personally, I'm an MT5 type of guy, more classic. If you want a $500 account, all you have to do is put in 50 bucks. Like, this is so insane. There's no challenges, no profit splits. You can withdraw 24/7. They have no rules. All these other brokers tell you like, oh, you have to wait till Friday to withdraw, or like you can only withdraw twice a month, or oh, you cannot trade during news events, whatever. No, there's no rules, nothing. You can trade anytime and withdraw anytime in crypto, and it comes to your wallet right away. And this goes all the way up to $1 million. You can have $1 million in your trading account for only 100K with no rules. So that's the broker that I recommend, and there's a reason I work with them. Tightest spreads, very, very low commission, little to no commission actually. And so, yeah, that's the one I recommend. The link will be somewhere in this video, either in the bottom or you guys get it via URL or link or whatever, but you'll have the link to it. This is the broker that I really recommend for you guys. And the reason why I'm pushing it so hard is, okay, obviously I'm an IB for them. I'm not going to deny that, but so many different brokers reached out to me trying to make me their IB, and I just didn't want to do it because I heard really bad things about them. But when it comes to Hero FX, genuinely, I use them myself. I'll tell you which account I have. Actually, I use this 10x account myself, and I have this one. I use this one, the 500K one. I deposited 50K. I use it because, as I said, no scammy business, no funny business, well, like all these other different brokers and platforms do. But not only that, like when you're first starting out, like when I was first starting out 7 or 8 years ago in trading, and if I had $500,000 to trade with, that would have made my life a whole lot easier, because I wouldn't have to full port my account every single time and just pray that I hit the lottery, you know what I mean? So with 500K, you can have proper risk management. You can, like risk 1 to 2% of your portfolio and still see decent gains without having to full port your shit. So this is the one I recommend for sure. This broker, obviously, I'm not recommending you guys drop 50K. You can just start with the smallest one. But yeah, that's why I recommend this broker for you guys.
I mentioned earlier that if my students don't improve, I coach them for free. Let me go into a bit more detail on that. And I'll tell you guys right now, this isn't some recycled YouTube content or videos. It's a system I've built through working in a hedge fund, through my master's degree in financial derivatives. It's a system with structure, accountability, and execution built right into it. Every student starts with a kickoff call. We map their goals, time, risk, and your one setup playbook. Then after that, you guys get weekly one-on-one calls. We don't talk theory. We have to review all your trades. We go in depth about them. And I'll screen share. I'll check your entries, your stops, your sizing, your rule following. And if you messed up, I'm going to tell you. And if you did well, we'll start to scale you carefully. And the Discord I have, it isn't just some game room. It's where execution happens. Daily watch lists, levels, live breakdowns, office hours, and you get signals, not just noise. Every student also gets step-by-step checklists, accounts and tools, pre-market plan templates, a risk calculator, a journal with auto stats, good, okay, bad day rules. We even run live trade labs, real-time walkthroughs, where I plan and you execute while you're watching me. That's it. You watch it, you copy the process, and you improve. Now, here's what makes us different. I'll tell you guys the process guarantee if you'd like. If you show up and you journal every single trade and you follow the plan for 30 days and you don't see real process improvement, by real process improvement, I mean better rule following, fewer mistakes, completed weekly reviews, I coach you for an extra month completely for free. And not many people are doing that, but why do I offer that? Because I know this system works. I've tried and tested it over and over and over again. And if you don't improve, I lose time. That's how confident I am. But here's the catch. I can't take everyone. I get thousands of DMs every day and I just can't take everyone. If you start to skip calls, ignore feedback, or you treat this like Netflix, you're out. I mean, I just can't help you at that point. I have removed students mid-program many times before. This isn't a school, it's a performance program. I build very disciplined, hardworking traders. And my top students, they don't need hand-holding. They don't need 20 hours a week. They execute one setup with speed and discipline time and time again. And that is exactly how you win here. Obviously, guys, trading involves a risk and individual results definitely do vary. But but if you do what you're meant to do, you will get better, no doubt about it. I'll tell you guys about the 3 types of traders that I see regularly. After coaching hundreds of traders, I see the same 3 types over and over and over again. The first type I like to call the watcher. They watch the calls, maybe they take some notes, but they never journal. They never post reviews. They just scroll the Discord channel, they watch others win, and quietly, they doubt themselves. They tell themselves that I'm learning, but they never actually trade. And the watcher will always stay stuck, and eventually they will quit quietly. Now, type 2 is the overthinker. They want it to be perfect. They build complete spreadsheets. They color code everything. They ask me 5 different follow-up questions on very rare situations, and they wait for the perfect setup, the perfect market timing, the perfect everything, and they end up doing nothing. Because in trading, perfect doesn't exist. There's no such thing as perfect when it comes to the markets. This type of trader overthinks everything and they think that that's smart, but it's not. It's just fear disguised. And type 3, my favorite type, is the doer. They see the plan and they execute. They're not always right. No one's always right, and they understand that. And once they understand that, they can just start to move. And that first real win, even if it's small, that's all they need, because by then, that proof turns into belief, and belief turns into confidence, and confidence starts to snowball into consistency. I've seen students with small accounts stack green weeks, not days, make money consistently for weeks, not because he was a genius, but because he followed the rules consistently. This game doesn't reward your IQ, it rewards discipline. It's not about knowing everything. It's about doing one thing very, very well and doing it over and over again to let probability play out in your favor. Look guys, that one major win can change your whole identity. And when that happens, everything else starts to follow. So ask yourself, I want you to really ask yourself, which type of trader are you? 1, 2, or 3. Try to be number 3. Be the doer. I'm gonna run you guys through some questions that I always get from my students, and even from my students that I've coached in the past, they had these questions. Can I do this if I have a full-time job? Yes. An hour to an hour and a half every day is enough. In the morning, you plan out 20 minutes, and you have to leave 30 to 60 minutes for execution. And after you execute, just leave 10 minutes so you can sit and journal. You don't have to watch screens all day. I don't even watch screens all day. I've heard a lot of people also say, well, I've lost so much money before. I mean, so did I. I lost $80,000 in one night. And that's one night, not the 2 years of losses I had. One night. Losses are not the problem. Having no process is the problem. We fix the process first. Rule following, positive results, growth. People also said, I don't have much money. I don't care. Start with what you have. Measure in percentages. Scale when your stats tell you that, yo, it's time to scale. Funded accounts or personal growth, whatever it is, just start with what you have. What about bad markets? Yes, we have no trade days. We size smaller and choppy markets, and we filter through different stocks, through different things what to trade. Just survive first and then win. Survivability over profitability every single day of the week. People have asked me, can't I just follow different signals? Well, you could, but that creates a sort of dependency that you don't want to have. Without your own plan, you can't really judge quality. The goal here is independence, obviously. You want to become your own signal. I've had people also ask me, what if I freeze under pressure? Well, that's why we write the entries, the stops, the profits ahead of time. So you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is execute. You have to execute what's already in front of you, not your emotions. Look, coaching beats courses every single time. You've probably even bought a course before. 10 modules, 15 hours of videos, and yet you're still stuck. Here's why. It's very interesting actually. Courses give you information, but information doesn't make you money. Execution does. Most people think they have a knowledge problem when they really don't. They have a take action problem. And no course can fix that. No amount of information that you stuff into your head or no many hours on YouTube or courses you watch can fix that. What we offer isn't more information. It's different information. We definitely do give you information, but what we offer isn't just info, it's a movement. You're not joining to watch, you're joining to start doing. To get on a call, walk through a real trade, get told exactly what's wrong and know what to fix before you lose and throw away more of your money. And that's exactly why my students improve. Not because they're geniuses, but because they have someone working with them in real time, on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis. Whenever they need someone to talk to about a trade, about whatever, I'm here. And here's the truth that most people want to avoid. If more knowledge made you profitable, you'd already be profitable. YouTube is free. Google is free. Courses are everywhere. You can bootleg any course right now from your favorite guru and go watch it for free. But you don't need more education. You need speed, correction, accountability. And that's exactly what this is. So if you're the type who watches course after course but still hesitates to execute and get on the charts and start trading, this program will either fix that, or you'll realize that watching wasn't the problem. You were, and that's okay. Sometimes you are the problem. Remember, guys, execution beats education every single time, and that's exactly why coaching works, because it forces you to do, not just learn. So let me tell you guys exactly what's inside my coaching program. Weekly coaching calls where we map your exact setup and fix your problem. Discord with daily levels, watch lists, and live breakdowns. I mean, trading and markets are my passion, so you might even get annoyed. I'm sending in info 24/7 on gold, on Bitcoin, Ethereum, on the NASDAQ, whatever it is. I love this stuff. So I'm sending analysis 24/7 almost. There's also a full onboarding to take you from 0 to 1 setup playbook in under 1 week, under 7 days. You also get direct message access for custom help. No more guessing, no more delays. Again, you don't have to be technical. Just follow the checklist. You'll also learn to spot your setup, read conditions, control risk, and stack wins and grow. This is not a course. It's a system with real-time help. So guys, I want you guys to take action or miss the window. Join the free Lux Traders Discord. That's your fast track to profitability. If you've got $500 or if you've got $5,000 and you want to start executing this week, book a call. You lose nothing, just book a free call. We'll walk you through everything. And if you're still unsure, just join the free Discord. Watch the plans get posted, learn, then move. Catalyst season is here. Gold is flying. Bitcoin is flying right now. Every week, new earnings. Every week, gold reacts to news. Every week, disciplined traders win while the others chase. I have one question for you guys, and it's the only question. I'll leave you with this. Are you gonna watch it happen, or are you gonna finally execute with us? Remember, guys, process beats luck. Risk first, data over emotion. I'm Ryan from Lux Traders, and I'll see you guys inside the free Discord.